Enthrone is a new game from Sawyer West and Smirk and Dagger, although it's meant to look almost like an old game with tarot-esque pieces, and you are a hidden piece trying to guess who your opponent is. Two-player game, here's how it works. There are 8 different characters on the board here, and each of them has a matching symbol. You're going to shuffle this deck of cards, and you're going to get 3 of them. Your opponent will get 3, and 2, no one knows what they are. Of the 3 you get, you pick someone who you decide to be. So, I'll be the archer. These are my quarry here, and you know who everyone's quarry is. There's a little reference card to show who's going after who. And then you'll start taking turns back and forth. On your turn, you can move any pawn, but only if they're in this green section. So I can move the archer. I would move their pawn to the bottom, pushing the tiles up, and I move the archer to an adjacent space. You can always move to an adjacent space. These little florets here, you can pass through them. That counts as adjacent. You cannot capture another piece unless you're in the top 2 spots here. If you are, so let's say, for example, the little demon guy here was in the top spaces, he could capture me. Again, moving to the bottom. When you're captured, your pawn gets turned over to an arrow, which means it's the same as the token that's underneath it. And this person's removed from the board. If you remove all 3 of your quarry, you win. Or if you remove your opponent, who they are, if you kill them, you also win. However, if a 4th pawn is captured and removed from the table, the game is over. And whoever captures that pawn loses unless it's a way that they win the game. Finally, the last way to win is pretty simple. Move into the middle spot. But you can only move into the middle spot when you're in one of these top 3 spaces, as evident by the laurels there. That's the game. This game is really fascinating. First of all, I want to say the production is almost perfect. When I say almost perfect, I really despise the insert for this game because I don't know what piece goes where. I know where the archer goes, and after that, I'm like, I think the fortune teller goes here. No, maybe they kind of fit there. Oh, they actually go here. A little bit of help would have been there. The fact that I'm spending a few minutes every time I put the game away trying to figure out where they are means I'm either chucking the insert or I'm going to write in a box somehow where each piece goes. But the miniatures themselves are fabulous. They have a bit of a wash on them. The tokens you move up are cool. It's kind of funny because with all that, with how nice everything is, the card quality really kind of falls apart. The rules are well written, though, and the game is interesting to play because it's really fascinating. You know 3 of the characters that your opponent is not, the one you are and the 2 that you discarded. You also might see them capture a piece, and you say, well, they captured a piece. Here's 3 units that also want to capture that piece. That's in their quarry. And I had one of them in my hand, so I have them down narrowed to 2. Do I try to capture them, or they're moving that one to the middle? Should I capture that? And it's not a long game. I mean, it can take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, but it offers some good, juicy decision-making. Now, it's also very quick. Sometimes you'll play a game of this, I think, that can be unsatisfyingly quick. I move here, capture, oh, that was my guy. How did you know? I didn't, but they were one of my quarry. Oh, okay. Well, let's play again. I think those might hurt the game sometimes, but the rest of the time, it's fast. And those games that do have an unsatisfactory ending, you can just start another game up after that. So this is a game, like I said, it kind of looks like a classic. I don't think it is a classic, but I think it's good enough. It's one that you can enjoy. A 7 out of 10, that's Enthrone.